Hey, my beautiful people. I just made a video on agape love, and I started on a subject and then I kind of veered off from it because I wanted to strictly talk about agape love in that video. Um, but this one, as you see in the title, Platonic Friendships. So I wanted to touch base a little bit on a theory that's going around that you are not able to be platonic friends with somebody um, that's of the opposite sex, especially if you're attracted to them or if you are going from a friends with benefit situation to try to be a platonic friend. And I wanted to tap into all of it because I feel like it's an amazing subject, needs to be talked about, needs to be expressed, especially because we are in a lost generation that has a lot of information going around. So, now what I will say is I think that the lust of the spirit is higher than the reality of the connection and the feelings that you have. I feel like our generation is quick to turn to a substance to get feelings, and then they act on those feelings, and then they continue the same patterns and habits that created the feeling so that the feeling never changes, if that makes sense. So let's say if you meet someone, you guys go out for drinks. After you drink, you feel really good. Then you end up sleeping with the person. And it felt really good when you slept with them. It felt really good when you drank and you guys were loose and able to talk and communicate about all these things. Now let's remove the alcohol out of the picture. You guys are sitting in the same environment, but you guys are unable to talk. You guys go to have sex with each other, and the feeling still feels good, but it's not as amazing as you thought it was when you were under alcohol, right? Under the influence of alcohol, sorry, wording. You creating a false illusion around this dynamic. Then when you guys sit and you guys talk and you guys have a conversation and you guys um, remove sex out of the picture, you start to see who this person really is. And you guys realize that I'm not romantically attracted to you. I could be a really good friend, right? You could be a really good friend. We could hang out, we could have fun, we get along, but it's not on that level of like, I see myself being with you. And then you switch gears and you jump from being a friend with a benefit to a platonic friendship being built off of a foundation of we tried it this way, now let's try it this way. Because maybe you guys do get along to where you guys can have conversations about a certain topic, and that's what you need in your life at that moment. And you're like, you're pretty cool. I don't want to lose you out of my life because we're not building towards a relationship anymore. I really want you to be a friend. So this is where a level of emotional sit. Oh, tongue tied, y'all, because this is important. This is where a level of emotional maturity comes into play because you have to be able to separate what you've already experienced to where you're trying to go. Now, the problem with us women is that we are emotional by nature, and men are able to be physical. And yes, you guys still have feelings, men, whether you say you do or not, but they're able to cut it off a lot easier and just keep it pushing, right, and deal with it later. Whereas women, it's surface level. So it's like that emotion is right there. You're finna hear about it. We're gonna show you, and then we'll move accordingly. And I think that if we got to a place of emotional maturity as a collective, then we would be able to see like, okay, I made a decision and it wasn't one that I want to continue to do, but you're still a cool person. I still want you in my life. I don't want to lose you in that respect. Now, people replaying broken narratives from people who are miserable or lonely or seeking something or wanting to just be heard will tell you, no, there's no way for you to do that. You do it once, you're going to do it again. It's not true. But you have to be mature enough to know yourself, understand yourself, and stop being worried about what other people think. You're building connections and relationships and friendships and partnerships. All of these ships for you, not for anybody else. And if you and another person feel like you guys would be good friends, even after an experience that felt really good, you guys can do that. Who's to tell you that you can't? I think we've gotten so caught up in getting other people's opinions about what works for our life that we lose really good people or we miss out on amazing opportunities because we're worried about people who are seeking the same thing that we have access to right in front of us, but it doesn't look like what they said it should. This part will upset some people because they don't want to hear it. I personally have went from a friend with benefit situation, right? That started off like we thought we would like each other or whatever. This was a while ago. Um, and then we ended up becoming amazing friends because at that time I was going through some things, he was going through some things, wasn't ready for a relationship. We thought we were until we started having the real conversations about, okay, like what is this going to look like? All of this stuff. And I'm being transparent to tell you how this dynamic can shift, right? God rest his soul. So he passed away some years ago on my birthday. But I was the last call that he made before he transitioned, just telling me happy birthday. But we went from that experience to being the best of friends, like being able to call and talk to each other about the people we're dating, the things we're trying to do in life. And it created this beautiful dynamic to where I was able to open my heart on another level and not go by what I had believed as a young girl up until adulthood, that any man that you're dealing with needs to be pursuing you for a relationship or for marriage. That you can't be friends with a man because all they want is to get what is in there. And even though he may have experienced that, our dynamic was greater than that, right? Because we do things, we slip up, we have fun, we get tipsy, whatever the case is. And then you end up doing something that it's like, okay, because we experienced that, are we willing to get rid of the fact that we can have a phenomenal conversation, go kick it and hang out and do all of these things? And so I'm coming from a place of been there, done that. That if you stop worrying about people who are insecure in their foundation, who are seeking something like that, but they have not been able to do that for themselves because of whatever limiting beliefs that they have, you may meet some of the dopest people in the world. Not, don't get me wrong, not saying friends with benefits to platonic. I'm just saying being able to be friends with the opposite sex and it not be a physical thing. And like I said in the last video, we are naturally attracted to the opposite sex by nature. Like you're going to be attracted to somebody. That doesn't mean you have to act on it. That's like telling, and please don't get me wrong, because I was married for almost a decade. That's like telling married people you should automatically be turned off when you see the opposite sex. Like, because I'm in the picture, you shouldn't even think anybody else is attractive. And I challenge that because that is a very toxic way of looking at that. You are still going to be attracted to other people. It's your level of maturity. They don't need to know that you're attracted to them. You don't need to act on that. There doesn't need to be a conversation about that, because that's how we were created, to be attracted to other people. So y'all don't eat me up in my inbox because I don't want to hear it. Been there, done that. I just know that I've grown so much since being divorced and going through this healing journey and really recognizing things and owning things that were insecurities in me that I'm projecting on other people and vice versa. Some of the things that we're upset about or we're causing issues with aren't really even issues. It's just because somebody else told us we should feel some type of way about them. But when you really find your truth, you realize if I'm getting in a relationship with somebody, when I get married again, My husband is definitely going to be attracted to other women, right? If he didn't find me, he would be going through the dating pool. He would find other women attractive. But when we come into union, what I'm trusting him to do is to stay committed to the fact that we have a partnership greater than the physical eye can see in other women, right? And vice versa. You guys have to stop allowing other people and their insecurities to dictate what you do in life, because a lot of good relationships and connections are getting messed up because people are worried about the wrong things. Instead of the elephant in the room, that you guys are unable to communicate with each other honestly and transparently, you guys are mad at the fact that you seen a woman walk past and you thought she was pretty. Now, in the back of your mind, all of your insecurities are playing that he thinks she's attractive too. And if you weren't there, he would say something. Fellas, this goes for you too. Because you and your wife can't communicate and be transparent and be honest, and they were your best friend first, they were your friend first. You walk by and a dude smells good, it's a cologne that you probably would buy for yourself, and you think, oh, that's a nice looking dude, however you say it, don't come for me, whatever. And then in the back of your mind, your insecurities are playing like, dang, he's more fit than me, he's better dressed than me. My wife is probably, she would have talked to him if I wasn't here, she probably would have let him get her number if I wasn't with her. That ain't got nothing to do with her. That ain't got nothing to do with him. That's an internal thing, right? That's our insecurities being projected on somebody that didn't even do anything. But naturally, the fact of the matter in all of this and what I'm trying to get to is that elephant in the room, the fact that we were designed by nature to be attracted to the opposite sex, stops becoming natural because somebody connected with somebody else. You're trying to force somebody to be something that they're not, instead of allowing them to be human, allowing them to have their experience, and trusting them to show up for you the way that you would show up for them. But that's another conversation for another time. When you get to the level of maturity where you can sit down with your partner and express your wants, your needs, your concerns, things that you think about on a daily basis without feeling judged, without feeling like they're going to leave you because you are an individual outside of them, and you guys came together to become one, but you're still two separate individuals. When you can sit down and have the conversation honestly, and your spouse is your friend and not just a spouse, not just a token, not just a thing that you acquired. When you take feelings out of it, the world was created for us to have connection. And you can definitely have platonic friendships with people when you are mature enough to sort through your emotions on your own and not project it on somebody else. This world has got us so caught up in the next. I could replace you. I have a backup. There's something else available. Something else looks prettier. Something else caught my attention. And then you walk away from substance because beauty fades. Well, not for everybody, claiming that. But looks change, beauty fades, but you built a solid connection and foundation with somebody that you can utilize and move forward in for the rest of your life, or for the season, or for the reason. And you guys are blocking these people from coming in and helping you become a better version of yourself because somebody else is insecure at the fact that because they would sleep with somebody of the opposite sex and they couldn't just be friends with them because they haven't dealt with controlling their lower area. They project that on you, and then they make you feel like maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm missing something, maybe I can't really be their friend, maybe they are looking at me in a different manner. There's a level of maturity that comes with sitting with yourself and really evaluating the things that you know to be true for yourself, the things that you don't think are the greatest, the ugly parts of you, the flaws, the things that you don't want nobody else to see, and really dealing with them and owning them so that you can either heal from them, elevate them to address them, or ask somebody for help so they can help you, challenge you to become better. I know these aren't the easiest conversations, and I know that my depth makes people look in the mirror, and that is why I was very cautious about the things that I would express, because I will hear people say something and I'm like, I don't feel like that's 100% true. I think there's more to it, but have you really dug into it? But I hope this video helps somebody. You can be platonic friends. You can build friendships with the opposite sex. You can have conversations. I think about the beauty of, if you think about the older generation, the ones that have been married for years and years and years, they have friends. But what do? They throw get togethers and the friends show up collectively. They pour into each other collectively and then people go home. They have conversations. They take bits and pieces from this person and that person. It's a level of trust and security and stability, and being able to know that the person you chose to be a part of you in your life and your journey is going to honor, love, and respect you in the way that you would expect them to. Because if you don't, why are you with them? Is it for comfort? Is it to fill a void? Is it to not be lonely? Is it to say that you have somebody so you feel like you're winning at life? Because if any of those above are true, then you may not be in a genuine connection. You may be doing a disservice to yourself, but also the other person, because if they're feeling like you're genuinely all in this and you trust them and you love them, you wouldn't put them in a box. Platonic friendships are there to help elevate you. And it may not always look like a same sex friendship. Males have a perspective that I will never have. And when I am married, there are boundaries in place for platonic friendships, but they can still occur. There's nothing that will be hidden because my life is transparent, right? And when you go into partnership, you're going into transparency with another person. I shouldn't have to hide anything from you. I should be able to tell you everything that's going on, all the people that have been connected in my life, where they stand, what this means, who this is for, whatever, and vice versa. And if you're not able to do that with your person, why are you in connection in the first place? If you get to a point where you're struggling, your spouse should be the first person that you're talking to, like, babe, I thought I was good in this area, but it's surfacing again. Gotta work through this. Allow your spouse to show up for you. Allow them to be your support, because we are all human and flawed by nature. Nobody's perfect. Battle of the mind. The enemy is in here to attack and destroy us, to keep connections apart. It's a spiritual warfare literally going on in front of all of us. But if you can't trust the person that you're connected to because you're worried about a platonic friend that wants to see their soul make it, elevate to its highest potential, there's some inner work that needs to happen. But that's all I wanted to say on this video. Don't know if there will be any more videos tonight, but I am really glad that I was able to get this out. I hope that it helps somebody. If you have questions or you want a deeper understanding of why I stand the way that I stand on this topic or any of the other topics I've spoken about, I am here. Life experience, watching other people, conversations will get you a lot of places in life. So I love you guys, and I hope that you guys have an amazing night.